Okay, we're looking at homework number 2 now. I'll help you out with problem number 1, and hopefully you'll be able to do the rest on your own. So for problem number 1, we're talking about selling some kind of item. So we have the number of items, and then we have the cost in dollars. Part A, is the cost proportional to the number of items? The question will tell us the order that we have to divide this table. So cost is listed first, number of items is listed second. So our ratio is cost to number of items. Remember, in class we're going to identify each of those with a variable. The numerator is always your y, the denominator is always your x. So in my table, the number of items is x and the cost is y. We're going to divide each of these columns. So we're going to do 140 divided by 5. Notice I put the 140 in the numerator because that's my y. My y is 140. And I put 5 in the denominator because that's my x. My x was 5. I will do the same thing for the next column. 196 is my y, divided by 7 is my x. And I would see if I get a constant number, if I get the same thing when I divide each of those. Go ahead, and I just checked with the calculator, use the calculator. 140 divided by 5 is 28. And 196 divided by 7, remember, read these from top to bottom, is 28. So yes, this is a proportion. The constant of proportionality is 28. Okay, let's look at part B. How do we use that constant now? How much would 12 items cost? So over here in my table, I have 12 items. Okay, that is my x. And I want to figure out the y. I want to figure out the cost. If you know the x and you have to figure out the y, all you have to do is multiply by your constant. So I'm going to do 12 times 28, and I get $336. So for part B, 12 times 28 was $336. Okay, for part C, the rate, the unit rate is the same thing as constant. So that's for unit rate, or if that's for rate or value, you can just tell me that it's 28. What it means is it's $28 for one item. So each item costs $28. And then last part, part D, we have to write an equation. There were 2 possible equations that you could give me. The first one that we talked about in class was using division, y divided by x. When we divided the y and the x, we always got 28. Or a second way to write it is using multiplication. Y equals 28 times x. So if we have an x, we can multiply it by 28